Alright, hey everyone, Wanderbot here, and welcome to the Slormancer. This is a bit of an interesting story, actually. I should bring this up. So this is a game that I've been following for ages, because it looks amazing. It's kind of Diablo-y, but pixely, and it looks like the builds get a little wilder, which is super cool. And so I've been following them on Twitter for, I don't know, I think a year now. And so it's currently being featured as part of the Steam Summer Game Festival. And I was ecstatic to see it there because that means I can finally play it. And then I get an email from Slormancer Games or something like that, or maybe it was just slormancer@gmail.com, asking me to do a sponsored stream on this. Mind you, this is not a sponsored stream. And that is because it turns out the person that was contacting me was actually trying... It was a phishing scam. Effectively, they're saying, hey, we want to hire you to do the video, blah, 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 blah. Here's the demo, and then they send you a download link. Thing is, the download link was not a Steam key or an itch.io page. It was a mega.nz thing, which, like, inherently sets off, you know, alarms. Anytime a studio does that, I don't touch it. Even if it's a studio I trust, I will not download something from a Google Drive, unless it's like an image from a press kit. But I will not download your game demo via this manner. It's not safe. I don't trust it. Whereas like itch.io and Steam, there's that level of like, okay, this is a good filter. I can trust this. And so I just sat on it thinking like, I'm just going to download the demo, you know, to skip the mega.nz thing. And I'm just going to do the sponsored video anyway that way. And then I thought about it some more, and I'm like, wait a second. It's slormancer@gmail.com. Now, admittedly, I am wanderbot@gmail.com, or wanderbots@gmail.com. So I should probably get a more official email address at some point. But I was thinking about it, and it's like, anybody could make that. Anybody could pretend that they are slormancer@gmail.com. And so I checked their website, and it is actually Slormite Studios. They don't use Slormancer as part of their official email address, which makes perfect sense, because you want to be able to divorce yourself from the product if you make a second game or a third game or 20 games. You know, you can't just have the Slormancer games. And so, yeah, I sent the developers a message being like, did you guys sponsor me, or did a representative for you? And they're like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, yeah. So effectively, this person was trying to send me a virus masquerading as, you know, official business contact to presumably hijack my channel. YouTube is particularly terrible about getting channels back to the creators if they've been hacked. And so yeah, they probably just wanted to either keylog me for my channel or just other things in general. I'm not entirely sure. But it was a little spooky. Realizing that, like, you know, I was one bad download away from potentially screwing myself over for who knows freaking how long. So yeah, I don't know. That's the story. Before we dive into this, I'm going to look at the settings for like 2 seconds, just because settings are kind of important. I like looking at them. I learned some of my review skills from watching a ton of Total Biscuit back in the day. And so inherently, I always want to just check these settings first. Anyway, let's just dive right into this one. Obviously 3 minutes late, but that's okay. Good, you're here. We have to get to it if we want to stop the never-ending army of the Slormancer. We still have a few villagers to rescue, remember? Talk to Palstrang when you're ready. He'll let you know where your services are required. I heard that our graveyard is being overwhelmed. Once you know where you want to go, I'll teleport us there immediately. Be ready for some action. So WSD to move around. Got it. Let's see. Close that. We don't need this. I'll figure it out. Shall we get to it? Yes. Scourge Graveyard. Let's see. Paranoia probably saved your career. I mean, realistically, I've seen creators that have gotten hacked. Many of them... I mean, I've got heavy, like, two-step authentication and some other things. Like, you really have to have access to my phone to do too much. But they probably would be able to... well, they wouldn't be able to change my password. They'd be able to delete videos and upload videos, which is spooky enough. And I'm sure they could get more access than that. I am sure. I'm glad I turned the sound effects down. Okay, you found a piece of equipment. Open your inventory by pressing cool. Alright, let's grab chainmail as well. Grab these things. Move your item onto the corresponding slot. Got it. And I can just right-click it instead. So this is going to be very Diablo-y. Things get more ridiculous later. But it looks like it's pretty slow at the beginning. But honestly, what Diablo game is not incredibly slow at the beginning? Only two-factor authentication without SMS is safe-ish. Well, that's... See, I have... Well, okay, I've got SMS and, like, some other things. I could probably be safer, maybe, with, like, one of those, like, randomly generated authenticator kind of things. But I haven't had to worry about it yet, so I don't know. I will maybe think about it, seeing as I haven't been targeted. Like, this is the first time anybody has ever attempted to get access to my channel. So, like, up until now, I've just been kind of like, you know, it won't happen to me, or like, you know, it probably won't happen to me, or I'm probably safe. But I guess now that it has, good that I caught it beforehand. And I went to college with a lot of computer security people, so like I got a lot of habits from them. Okay, so we leveled up raw damage, max life, max mana, regen, and armor, and we got an action skill, wood stick. I can chuck a stick at things. What kind of ability is this? Eat stick, jerk! Actually, it works pretty well. Like, ultimately, hitting them in melee is better, but still. Now that every breach in this area has been destroyed, you have a choice. You can either get back to the village, collect your influence reward, or move on to another floor and continue the expedition. Okay. You know what this game reminds me of? It kind of reminds me of Hero Siege, but less crappy. When you choose to continue, you run the risk of losing influence and rewards if you're defeated, but you'll also fight for a greater reward. Talk to Brian either way. Brian's over here. Got it. Let's see. Let's go to the next floor. Let's at least do one or two more before things actually get dangerous. Eat stick, nerds. But yeah, so I should probably do like a little bit of investigations to see like what are kind of the other common scams. And unfortunately, I'm gonna say this right now, YouTube is really terrible. Like, they tell us about like potential scams and stuff, but there's not actually very good education. Hey, skills improved to a mastery level. Got more powerful upgrades are available. Open skills menu with C. Okay. Well, let's kill the last of these skeletons before we check it out. All right. Invest in an unlocked skill upgrade by clicking invest. Okay, so we can either do critical hits, dazzling sword, or skewering swing. Chance to skewer. I don't know, but I like the idea of skewering. It looks like it has a slorm cost, but I got plenty. And it looks like I can invest in more of these. Oh, some of these cost mana, though. Alternatively, who cares? I'll make it work. Or something. But, like, they tell us about, you know, scams and stuff like this every once in a while, but they don't do a very good job of sitting down and saying, like, hey, by the way, here's a common scam that people are currently experiencing right now. I think a lot of it is YouTube plays it very close to the chest with how they handle content creation and so on and so forth. You know, it's one of those where they don't want people to know the ins and outs of YouTube, because then they'd be able to abuse it, so they always leave it a little bit murky. Which I understand, but it's a bit tragic because it does mean that we're in the dark more than I think we should be. And, you know, modern YouTube has done a better job of communicating with people. Whoa, that's a thing. Let's leave that for a little bit. I forget what it is. I for inventory. Okay. Let's see. Modern YouTube has done a better job, I would say, than like a couple years ago. When the adpocalypse went on, there was nothing. Nobody talked to me, at least, and I was just kind of feeling it out on my own, and that was a little spooky. And I can kind of understand why everybody gets like really, really upset about those sorts of things, because like, yeah, there was no information, there was no official support for creators. We just had shit ad rev for a while, and then they gave us some new rules, and it's like, yeah, but like, none of us had much to do with a lot of that stuff. Can we get a... Oh, I see. We probably have to get out of combat before I can actually loot these things. Just like a little bit of basic information goes a long way. Seriously? Oh, I see. I can still pick it up. Found Slormite allows you to reinforce your equipment. Open inventory to use it. Right-click on your Slormite to pick it up, and then left-click on the item you want to reinforce. Pick up my Slormite from where? Oh, this. Reinforce an item by 1. Effect is doubled on an item with a reinforced level of 1. Oh. Well, none of my things are reinforced, except for this steaming amulet of the revered judge. I don't know where I got this from, but can I... Oops. Okay, you've sufficiently reinforced an item. Gains a reinforced level and becomes more powerful. Cool, so it's a +2 hell of an amulet. I don't know where I picked this thing up, but it's worth a stupid amount of money. They probably give it to you for the demo, so it's easier. But I think better showing, like, hey, by the way, you know, here are common issues that YouTube is currently dealing with. Would actually be quite helpful. Like, I had to... I'm really lucky, because I've got a direct, like, line at YouTube that I talk with once a month, and so we can discuss things. So if you guys remember the wannabe friends weird hyper scam that was going around for a little while, and everybody was super worried about that, I was able to actually ask him about it and be like, so, what about this? And he's like, it sucks, just don't click on anything. But I think a more direct method of communicating with creators would probably help a lot of people. Slorm Reaper level 2. I don't even... Okay, Slorm Reaper is gaining as much EXP as you are. It's accumulating enough to level up. Increasing the level of Slorm Reaper increases its effect and damage. Slorm Reapers? Hi. What? Oh. Oh, so if I go to inventory, Brian's sword is it's a weapon that scales up. Okay. But I get it, that they're like a giant kind of monolithic corporation, and everybody that works for YouTube, or like all of the creators on YouTube are not actually paid by YouTube, so it's really difficult to say like, hey, who do you communicate, who is good enough to be communicated with? Oh, I guess I can only head home. Huh, good to know. I apologize that I'm not actually talking about this game that much. I'm actually having a good, fair bit of fun. But this has just been rattling around my head, and I've been holding on to this specifically because I wanted to be playing Slormancer while I played it. This is great, though. Alright. So, influence rank seems to scale the area up, kind of Darkest Dungeon style. At Wrath 1. Okay. Looks like it's mostly just kind of grindy, but still. Does that mean you can train with one weapon specifically? Looks like it. We're making progress, but we haven't freed any of the captive villagers. We should get back there as soon as you're ready. Let's talk to this, though. Should we let the mage stretch his legs? Oh! So we've got 3 different characters. We can be the mage, the huntress. We got the blacksmith. Store is closed right now. He likes yelling. Okay. I'm gonna stick with the melee guy for the time being. Let's go back to this guy, seeing as I've done the most amount of progress with him. Get to work. I'm assuming most of these things are busted, or I don't have access to them until I've tutorialized them. Alright, so let's go back. Let's see. So yeah, there's only 3 floors available. Let's see. How much... Oh, can't open this menu in combat. Oh, I am in combat. There we go. Do I have anything else? Well, I don't have any boots. I think I'm good there. This is K. Nope, I'm still in combat. Oh, because this guy is shooting at me. I understand. Yeah, so my weapon levels up periodically. I appreciate that. Honestly, I wish more games had, like, equipment leveling systems. Instead of having, like, a bunch of randomly generated equipment, give me, like, 10 pieces of equipment that I have to work towards unlocking, and then work towards, like, improving. Because that sort of thing can be really satisfying. Okay, so P is profile. There are apparently 360 different weapons in this game. Okay, that's a little bit more than I thought. Let's see. Mighty Knight. Nobody. Level 5. Enemies slain. So it looks like there's 120 different Reapers per character. Okay, what are you? Van Braces. Well, I'm just... Did that not work? Or, oh, I see. Reinforced level. So I gotta get 4 more Slormite bits to level that up again. Okay. Ancestral Legacy. Do I have any points? Oh, maybe I need influence to get this open. Or no, it just costs Slorm. Supposedly? Enshrine an ancestral stone at the skills area to unlock it. Okay, so I guess we gotta unlock that feature before I even get to use it. But yeah, so I am a lucky duck that I know to, like, avoid stuff like this. But I can only imagine how many, like, small creators get really excited over the idea of a sponsored series, you know. Like, hey, somebody's gonna pay me to do a video. And then you get to it, you download the demo, you're ready to go, and then, it's viruses, and you lose your channel and so many other things. Like, ugh, gosh, that is a terror. That is a terror. I mean, losing my channel in general would be deadly. I could be fine. I mean, for starters, I've got a Twitch channel, so, like, if my YouTube channel suddenly goes wrong, we know exactly... Well, hopefully most of you guys will be able to figure it out. I should probably do a video on this as, like, a separate thing. But if something ever happens on the YouTube side of things, check Twitch and check my Twitter, because chances are, if something goes down, then I'll at least pivot over to the other side, at least until I can, you know, recover. Let's see. I don't like the bright flashes. That's not that big of a deal. Oh, those cool abilities. Why is my special ability throw stick, and why is it so strong? Holy okay, never mind. I've changed my mind. This whole throw stick business is actually a little bit more alluring than I give it credit for. It's always safe to have a failsafe. Yep. And that's part of the reason why I am so heavily built around both channels running simultaneously. Truly, YouTube is kind of the main breadwinner, and I think in general that's just because ad rev on YouTube is actually quite nice, and I get a decent amount of views there. But, you know, post-Adpocalypse, I was very much like, hey, this could go bad at some point, and I will have no idea what to do. So, I guess I should probably just, you know, keep a backup plan, just in case. And so I guess the backup plan truly is just like, yeah, make sure both... Oh, villager found. You've released a villager that was trapped inside the breach. He'll make his way back to Airtriart on his own. You'll be able to get to know him once you get out. Cool. So Ormos, skilled Slormartificer. Wow. Thanks for the help. I'm heading back to the village now. Come talk to me when you get back. Gotcha. Let's see. How do you download this game? It's a demo on Steam. It's not available otherwise. But just check out the Steam Game Festival or go to the Slormite Steam page, and you can just download the game. I will say this demo is only going to be available for the next couple of days. So if you do want to get on it quick, because the Games Festival will be ending soon, and then you'll have to wait until the next one, or for the game to come out. Luckily, you know, this is very much an in-development kind of thing. So, you know what? I don't know. It's like, it'd be sad if you missed out on it, but you're not going to miss out on much compared to the final project. Or final project? Final product. There we go. I can word. Alright, let's talk about Slormancer a little bit. So the level design, obviously, I think is kind of the weakest part, but for the most part, it's just rip through large groups of enemies, grind for loot, lots of progression systems. I mean, we have leveling weapons, we have townsfolk to rescue, we have gear upgrades, several different types, skill upgrades, with different choices, so you can go for like a bleed or a crit or some other things. I'm hoping there's more ridiculous things that you get later on. And maybe if I were playing as one of the more ranged characters, it wouldn't be so bad. Let's see, Berserker's Cuffs? Nah. I'm just gonna keep upgrading this one. Let's see, do we want the rest of these? I should probably sell them at some point so my inventory isn't just stupid full. Yeah, I mentioned this reminded me of Hero Siege, which I almost feel like is a bit of an unfair comparison. I liked the idea of Hero Siege, but the person making that game was terrible. Whereas this, I think this is everything that I would have wanted from that game, but, like, better. Because it's weird. I'm not a big fan of grinding in games unless the grind is fun. At which point it's not so bad. And if I do have to grind, give me an insane amount of progression system so I'm not just like a level 5 warrior. Like, give me a lot of options here. Let's see, you know... Oh. I guess I'm actually locked in there, so I can't kill that archer. Got it. Let's see. Head home. Yeah, if it's fun, it's not a grind. Yeah, exactly. It's a very thin line to tread, though. I will always say it's a cautionary tale. Okay. He's back in town. Thanks for setting me free. I'm Ormos. I'm a pudding. Me and my two brothers, Oleros and Merolis, are the Slormartificers of the castle. We are super talented. I myself have the ability to extract the Slorm you invested in your skills by mistake. That's pretty much the only thing I can do, but it's nothing. Do you even know how to? Oh, and as a gesture of freeing me, my surfaces will be almost free for you and your companions. When you want to get back the Slorm you invested in the wrong skill, come talk to me. We should probably take a look at that, actually. These are not the skills. These are the skills. Okay. Woo! So this is level 2. Way of the Warrior, Mastery. Mighty Swing deals 7 additional damage. Additional damage is equal to 1% of your max life. Ooh, I like that. Let's invest in that. What else could I get? Can I invest in a lot of these? And why does this say 4? Oh, reach Mastery 4 with Mighty Swing. So there's different tiers, but you also have to have a higher Mastery level. There's Wood Stick, which I've got to use more. Oh! So the more you use a skill, the more mastery you get. So go figure my attack skill is increasing. Looks like each mastery level, each thing has a maximum of 10 or 5. And I can unequip these. So if I wanted to make it so this didn't cost anything. So let's actually go back to this guy. Okay, he's going to keep 20% of the Slorm extracted. Still, worth it. I'm going to get it back. So, I think making my primary attack actually cost mana by going for Skewering Swing probably isn't worth it. Let's see, Skewer. 10% chance damage will be dealt again every time you deal damage to a skewered enemy. Enemy can be skewered up to 5 times. That actually is pretty dang good. But I was going to say, let's go for a crit chance. Because it's kind of cheap. Mainly I wanted to go for this, though. Because that's a huge amount of flat damage. That makes it pretty dang good. I got to use the stick more often. Let's go back to skills for a second. So, reach level 7 to unlock all of these. Okay, reach level 10 to unlock Banners of War. Got it. There's also different specializations. So there's the Distinguished Knight, Haphazard Champion, and Enduring Protector. So we gotta be level 10 before we get any of those. I am level, I'm not sure. At level 6, 0, and 1?
Huh.
Okay. Well, time to be a stick master for a while. Let's take a look at stick-related skills. Beautiful throw. If wooden stick is fortunate, it has a 100% pierce chance. Wood stick has an additional plus 19 mana on hit. Wait, does that give me mana back? Okay. Armor of the Forest. Whenever wood stick deals damage to an enemy, you gain an oak bark armor stack, granting you 1% armor for 6 seconds. Stack up to 10 times. And rose stock. Splinters deals additional damage. Okay. Full disclosure, it seems like stick build is way more interesting than just hitting things with the sword. So I guess we're going for a stick build. Hello. You see this sword? It is nothing. Ignore the sword. Eat stick, jerk. The idea of this is hilarious. Just find the nearest stick and chuck it. This is not the druid run. This is the use anything run. I don't know how many of you guys play D&D, but one of my favorite characters a long time ago was a drunken master with the use anything feats. Effectively, I designed the character so that he mainly was just supposed to... Oh, hey, we got another guy. The gifted one. And we've got throwing sword as a skill. Thanks, I can make my way back. Okay, yep, same deal. Eat stick, nerds. Oh, we got another one. I'm too old for this. Well, who are you? You must be very brave to face a gad's army. I might have something for you. Come talk to me when you get back to the village. Okay, I'm really into this. Now that we get the progression systems, and I have discovered the might of this stick. It's a good stick. Let's see. So we also do have throwing sword. Throw a sword that deals skill damage and applies bleed enemies hit. Bleed deals skill damage over 7 seconds, can stack up to 10 times. Let's equip that on my left. Alright. We are just going to be hucking projectiles. I am a ranged knight, and that's how it goes. Let's see. Got here. This game looks really interesting. Is it an early access game or is it on Steam? It's not even early access. It is on Steam. But this is the demo of Slormancer, which will be out who knows when. But it's part of the Steam Summer Game Festival, so it's going to take a little while. Yeah, I'm just going to be chucking shit at things. Eat sticks, jerk. Because, yeah, I can throw both the stick and the sword simultaneously, so... I am liking this so far. This has got everything I was looking for and more. Let's see. Thought it was Stormmaster the whole time I've been here. Nope, Slor. SL. I don't understand the title. I honestly thought this was going to be a little bit more, like, slime-focused, for whatever reason. But so far, we're just dunking on undead. And that's totally fine. I'm not gonna judge for the topics. But yeah, for an indie Diablo-like, this does a bunch of different things that I haven't seen specifically out of Diablo. Or I kind of have, but it's like a more concentrated manner. So it's not so bad. Yeah, we should probably take an ogle at the Mage and the Huntress before we're done. Let's see, the bleed kills. Sweet. Yeah. Does a decent amount of damage. I don't know if there's much of a stack to the bleed, though. I think it might be better that I bleed every enemy individually and then finish them off with a stick. Maybe. The variety is going to need work, though. I'm a little worried that we're just going to be fighting the same things somewhat endlessly. But I guess, I don't know. Not sure if that bothers me too much. How does the skeleton bleed? I don't know. Taking out the marrow? Question mark? Alright. Let's see. So let's go skills. So, now we got some things. I can invest a little bit in that. we want to make it so that row stock splinters deal bonus additional damage. Additional damage is equal to 20% of your thorn damage. Unfortunately, I don't think I have any thorn damage. At least not currently. Yeah, so currently it's 0 additional damage. So I guess there's no real point in investing in that until we get some more. It's a little slower, not gonna lie, throwing the sticks. But I do really appreciate the idea that you can be a stick-throwing monster in this game. And it doesn't have to be mana-related. I thought it was going to be like a just basic usability, but it's actually more than that. I will admit the basic attack is probably better than just going full stick. So we might want to switch it back. Let's take a look at what the throwing sword abilities are. Blood donation. Mana cost of throwing sword is reduced by 1 for each stack of bleed. Okay, crippling pain slows enemies. Heavy injury. Bleed does extra damage. Blood shield. Huh. Block stack for each thrown thing. Throwing a sword destroys physical projectiles it hits. Oh, that sounds actually really amazing. So, it does look like a lot of this involves mana management, that things get progressively more expensive as you go along. Let's take a look at the rest of these. Careful throw. It's okay. Apply splintered. So what else we got in here? Voracious swing. If the mighty swing is perfect, it has additional life leech. I'm not at all sure what... Okay, fortunate and perfect casts. Okay, so if your luck is those, it'll be fortunate. Oh, luck continuously grows while you're in combat and stops whenever it reaches 25, 50, 75, or 100. And then when you get a fortunate cast... Okay, so when you get a fortunate at 25, 50, or 75, it'll keep going up. And then when it gets to 100, you get a perfect cast. That's an interesting system. Okay, one way or another, I'm going to go back to the basic melee. Let's switch to the spellcaster after this. In fact, let's actually let's switch characters immediately. I just want to see what they have available. Because I could keep grinding with this guy, but like this is a demo one-off kind of thing as opposed to like I want to get too deep into this. So is there a luck meter? I think we saw it earlier. But I'm not currently seeing it. Oh well. Yeah, part of it is the sword sweep just immediately is a little bit more powerful, purely by the fact that it's got a big sweep and it fires so much faster. Alright, let's go back. Let's take a look at some of the other characters, and then go from there. Okay, so let's talk to this guy. I'm Alaris, the Great Manipulator, and I can extract the Slorm you've invested in your ancestral legacy. I haven't done any of that yet. Yeah, unfortunately, the ancestral legacy, this giant monster of a thing, we can't do anything with it yet. I'm sure eventually we will be able to, and it looks kind of rad. It's very Path of Exile / Wolsony, and I'm totally cool with that. I just want to... Well, I want to get access to it, but we need an ancestral stone, and we do not have one of those. Okay, so let's take a look at the skills for the Mage. So we've got Arcane Missile, Ray of Obliteration, Book Smash, and then some other things we don't know about. So, Arcane Missile is no cost if you have less than X amount of mana. It's nice. Reduced cooldown time. Arcane Missile now belongs to the Temporal School. Interesting. Oh, Mischievous Mage gets emblems from the different schools when he casts spells. Arcane, Temporal, and Obliteration. Conflex, Remnant's Wingman. Whenever you or an Arcane Clone casts Arcane Missile, you have a chance to also cast 2 remnants of arcane missiles. Ooh, that sounds kind of fun. Arcane Clone is a clone of you that is casting the same skill over and over. Arcane Clone inherits all of your attacks, but has less attack speed. You can only have 1 clone at a time. Lasts indefinitely. It's a Mischievous Mage deal. Okay. Let's go back to this for a second. So, there's that. What's the last one? You cannot gain mana with Arcane Missile anymore. With Mana Leech, mana on hit, blah blah blah. But it deals 92% of the mana you should gain as elemental damage instead. That sounds really expensive. Okay, Avenging Tornado. Okay. Let's go take a look at the Huntress real quick. I like the take on the abilities here. So what does she have? So she's got Arrow Shot. Voracious Ammo. Arrow gets you extra mana. Ooh, Bouncing Arrow has a rebound chance. And a forking chance as well. Let's see. Tracking Arrow just makes it so they take more damage. Has a higher pierce chance. Whenever the arrow forks, it forks into 3 arrows instead. Well, I guess I'm gonna... Let's do a run as the Huntress. We're probably not gonna unlock anything new. But it seems like the Huntress has closer to what I want. I'm big on... I like projectile modifiers when I play games like this. It's real fun having, like, rebounding and forking arrows that effectively you fire once and everything explodes. Like, there's something really charming about that. Ever since, probably Chocolate Milk and Rubber Cement and Binding of Isaac, and, like, finding all of those different little cool combos that became broken. Admittedly, those two together were never actually that good in combination, but hopefully you guys get my drift and know what I'm talking about. And surprisingly few roguelikes actually do, like, a good job of having shop modifiers like that. Wilson did kind of a good job with it. Like, I remember having, like, double bouncing fireballs, and it became quite fun. But it still didn't feel quite there. She's got a very springy step. Like, she is just happy to be here. Now, I don't know if this game's going to be multiplayer. I wish I could tell you. If it is multiplayer, I'm looking forward to it, because then I will gladly play it as such. And if it's single player, I will play it otherwise. See anything other than skeletons yet? No. But again, this is a alpha demo. I know there's more than skeletons from what I've seen. But I do hope that they drastically increase the amount of different enemies. Because currently it's just enemy that shoots an arrow at you. Enemy that runs at you and dies because good luck hitting the player character. Admittedly, for the most part, I think this is going to be one of those games that, like, you just kind of find the correct difficulty that you can grind through at without fear. And then you're just going for the loot and the abilities. And it's less about challenge and more about optimizing your grind box abilities. I'm trying to think of a good example. Hey, I got Rain of Arrows. Okay, that's pretty good, actually. Especially if things stay kind of clustered. I don't know. Rain of Arrows is actually pretty nuts. It's a little bit on a delay, but I can only imagine how goofy that'll get. I can use that to shoot over walls. Handy. As long as nothing drops in that immediate area. Bang. Because, yeah, I can just Rain of Arrows anything, anywhere, as much as I want. Alright, next floor. If that works with bounces and forks. I don't know if it will work with the Rain of Arrows, necessarily. Okay, so let's check this. So, Voracious Arrow gets me extra mana on kill. What we want is bounce. So this is going to get costly. Do I want rebound or do I want fork? Let's go for fork. Unfortunately, it caps out at a 50%. It does look like I have decent mana regen, so I don't have to worry too much here. Yeah, that Arrow Storm might be just as good as just going for my Fork Arrow nonsense. We should take a look at what abilities I can get out of it before I go. Because I'm digging how the Huntress works. One thing I have to really compliment the game on, I didn't really talk about it as much when we were playing as the warrior. We had the kind of tutorialization for what each effect was, and the game just tells you straight up, like, hey, this is what luck does. Here's how it works. I find a lot of games just kind of assume that you understand what, like, sometimes super esoteric terms can be. And it's a bit tragic because it's like, sometimes I don't understand mechanic and I don't want to have to, like, pull up a separate menu to figure out the minutia of perfect shot. And so, yeah, having the game just straight up be like, hey, this is exactly what it is. That's a good feeling. Alright, so let's take a look at Arrow Rain. Rain of Arrows, what do we got? Raining Knives. Whenever you cast Rain of Arrows, if you are tormented, the first Rain of Arrows will drop a Ravenous Dagger upon landing. Let's see, Ravenous Daggers do Reaper damage. Whenever you walk on a Ravenous Dagger, you trigger Ravenous Swirl. Okay, what's Tormented? Oh, you're tormented whenever your Serenity is at 0. Huh. Okay, so you're going to be either tormented or delighted. Chance to drop a trap, or just reduces the travel time. I'm feeling the reducing the travel time. That seems like it would be real goofy. So he has additional AoE size and deals deals less damage. 50% increased size and reduced damage is not that bad. Breaks armor, does a hunting net. Oh, enemies within 1.5 yards are pulled towards the center of it. And then there's a purple upgrade, which now deals elemental damage and deals 60% increased damage, but heavy costs. It's understandable. Alright, so last thing I wanted to take a look at is... Okay, a lot of these are just not available. I could grind for them. Okay, Lightning Ancestral Gift, rank 0. Gold, fine. Rare Slormite, find. Magic item quantity. Very small amount of upgrades, but it does give a boost. So this is kind of your giant freaking, oh gosh, giant freaking passive tree with a bunch of cool abilities. Many of which are not available in the demo, which is understandable, but that's okay. I'm looking forward to this. This is going to be fun. I'm going to stop here, though, just purely on the merit of I don't want to, like, overdo things and then be kind of bored when the game actually comes out. That's kind of the point of the Indie Game Lightning Round. So, it's neat. I enjoy it. I can't wait to actually play the full version or the early access version or the version with more stuff in it. And I'm sure I could probably actually get 2 to 3 hours out of this demo. But what I've seen is enough, at least for now. So thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.